Well, a lot of us are promoting that. The good news is, remarkably, the president may not be familiar because he didn't take the time to sign a bill, that what we were promoting, and by the way, take a look at that housing bill that was done federally, looks a lot like what we've been doing here in the state of California. Their reforms to NEPA, our reforms to CEQA, their focus on excess federal lands. We did that through an executive order the first year I got here. All those Caltrans sites and the development projects we put in those places, including on the corporate housing. And in so many ways, a model bill. And I applaud the bipartisan nature of that bill and the legislative leaders in Congress for advancing it. In so many ways, it neuters the need, not completely, but substantially, for the state of California to move forward. That said, there are a number of bills and discussions and amendments that are in play as we assess exactly, waiting to see if that actually got signed or the midnight deadline passed, to assess what it means and what it doesn't mean in relationship to California's unique conditions. So we'll assess that further, but substantial progress was legitimately made through the housing bill that was advanced federally.
Governor, even with the progress that you cited, California still ranks as one of the most expensive states for housing, especially with some of the bureaucratic red tape that gets in the way. What's your message to Californians who are struggling with this issue? How long might it be until we start to see?
Well, I hope they'll take a look at this press conference in the last 20, and they'll hear exactly what we're doing substantively on that topic. We're getting rid of the red tape, substantively. That's an old talking point now, because we have proof points that suggest differently. 59% increase in housing construction, 57% decrease in the time to getting permits. That's real. That's the receipt on the substance. 3.5 million units now planned and in the pipeline, doubling of the legal mandate under the housing element and the RENA goals. A housing accountability unit driving reforms and compelling localism. A focus now on YIMBYism, not NIMBYism. Nation-leading reforms to substantively address that issue. And yes, it is the issue, as I open up the press conference, that defines more things, as I suggested, in more ways, on more days, about the struggles of more Californians and Americans. Cost of housing. And it's not complicated. It's supply demand. It's Econ 101. We need to build more damn housing, and we need to lower the cost of construction. Well, as a former county mayor, talking to the wrong guy. I know a thing or two about what I speak. They can choose not to. But don't try to seek more access to state funds. Or you can lower the cost of construction and deliver for your communities, for your counties. We did this, I think, very strategically, thoughtfully, and we needed together with not just the punitive side, the stick, but real incentives that are laid out in this legislation. By the way, I didn't even include the $900 million on the HAP 7 that's coming out. I didn't even include some of the other resources that we put in this budget. So we're providing an abundance of support that has never existed for counties for housing construction. What we're asking for is accountability and transparency on usurious fees that, frankly, have been abused, not in every case, but in many counties all across the state. While I'm sensitive to that critique, I've been hearing it for years and years and years, and I feel like we've struck the right balance with this legislation. Anybody else? Yeah, well, I'll get to the, I'm going to go through what I do this time every other year, and that's assess the merits, demerits of all the bills. But certainly I'll speak to the one that we can all speak to with some intimate familiarities. We all worked on it together, which was the state housing bond, which absolutely the voters should support. That was vetted in the mindset that we brought to this legislative effort here today. which is a mindset of accountability and transparency about delivering results, about time to delivery, and about lowering costs. And so all of those were fed through that prism, and I'm very, very pleased with the work that was done to get that bill, or rather to get that bond on the ballot. As it relates to the other bills, I'll be putting out a little bit more in terms of my thinking on that over the course of the next few weeks, but I'm very, very proud of the work, including, by the way, the money that's in that housing bond for veterans, which is incredibly important. Anybody else?
How might this work in concert with the federal legislation? I know you said there's a lot of overlap.
It's great.
With what California's already doing.
Hey, rare to, a couple of good things are actually happening in Washington, D.C. It's hard for me to, forgive me, I want to say it again just because I want to hear it myself. A couple of good things have actually happened in Washington, D.C. And this was one. I don't want to overstate it, but it's a pretty good damn bill. And I actually stress tested it a number of times, and I wasn't joking when I said, looks a lot like California, which may have been one of the reasons Trump didn't sign it. But I thought there was a lot of good thinking and a lot of smart work that was done on it. Federal government, states have limited roles and responsibility when it comes to these things. Localism's determinative on all this. Housing and homelessness, it's a bottom-up construct. So it's really about getting rid of those regulatory thickets. It's really about creating flexibility and doing what you can to support localism. And I think what they did, what we've done, is going to feed very nicely into what the counties and cities will be doing all across this nation and subsequently all across the state of California.